kids. It's Mark Miller here. On the line with me, Rory Becker from the UK. Rory, how you doing?
Hey, Mark. How you doing? I'm doing good, my friend.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah. Feels like ages since we talked, but I think that's mainly due to a small internet snafu yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
I always think that it's like, a good day if I haven't gotten mugged yet today. That's
Hey,
good.
yeah, that is a good thing.
And by mugged, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody coming by, asking for my wallet. You know who that is.
Can't imagine. No. Wouldn't dare even speculate.
Speaking of green, that's what you in the United States would call money. Sometimes we call it green.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm in Costa Rica also, and they call it red if they're talking about one of the $1 bills. The 1,000 colones bills here. They call it red. Hey, Copper Beardy, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Hey, Copper Beardy.
This morning. Fred says
Indeed.
Hello to Copper Beardy. What? Fred? What's that? I think he was trying to say hello to you or something like that. I was just making a quick change and just want to see if it works before we start it up here. Let's see. Well, here's TaleSpire. There's my character right there. Let's see if this will work. Fireball. We were working on this yesterday. See the fireball? See the little targeting thing right there?
Yep.
That tells you how far you are away from the caster. Okay? Now,
That's good.
we did this. You get down over here. It looks like that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that sweet?
That is very useful because you can tell. You don't need to work it out. You don't need to guess. You can just have the facts presented right in front of you.
Yeah. So, too far away. Fireball goes for 150 feet. So what's really cool about this is all data driven at this point. The data for the spell. Here, let me get that guy to drop down. The data for the spell says, hey, it can do I think what is a 20-foot radius, something like that, and so that's a 40-foot diameter sphere, and it can be up to like 150 feet away, which means the range of the fireball is actually almost 170 feet, not 150.
Yeah.
Because I can get that guy right out in that corner right out there.
So the outer edge of damage you can cause.
Right. What's cool about this? So this is actually based on a suggestion yesterday, I think by Garbled Knowledge, and Garbled Knowledge was suggesting, hey, make it an X when it goes disabled, so we can see that very clearly. And the other thing I did is I made the text bigger, right at this point. So here it's not so big, not a big deal, don't really care.
And you're also turning off the targeting sphere, so you're effectively saying, well, yeah, you can try and go here, but no. And furthermore, there will be no splash damage, no range to the damage.
Yeah.
So lots of little subtleties that really help you understand what's going on.
Yeah, so it looks good. I like that. I like too. One of the things that I'm doing here is I'm angling that X towards the camera, no matter where you are. See what's happening to it? It's actually a really kind of cool kind of, I don't know, effect or whatever you want to call it, but it's cool because you don't normally see this in a 3D kind of world where wherever you move something, it just kind of is tilting. It's kind of tilted up and towards you. Yeah. And I like it. It also, as I move the camera up, it should kind of flatten out. And as I move it down, it should kind of lift up a bit. So it's always kind of visible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call this success. That's success in the area of showing a symbol, regardless of its position, anywhere around. Okay, now I want to tweak this. Today's show we're going to talk about tweaking the targeting system, right? One of the things that I want to do, Rory, and I think I'm going to start with this, or a couple things. Maybe I should list out the things that I want to do. Should we just cast Fireball right now and just, revel in the glory of the Fireball here? Let's cast Fireball at this guy right there.
Okay.
Go. We should see. Yeah. So we got one of the problems we have is we have these killer effects going on that we can't see because the scroll is blocking, right? So I kind of need to, mess with that. If I move it over here, we can see it. I'll show you one more time the fireball on this. Here it comes, right over to that guy there. Go. And so you can see the effect as the dice come out, or when the dice come out. We're doing the wild magic roll here. Sorry about that, kids. One more time. Go. There it is. You can see the fireball kind of go across, and even the special effects in front of me are blocking too, to some degree.
Yeah, there was definitely a sense of it though in the background there.
Yeah. So I've now hit a new problem in that there's not enough screen real estate space for all the special effects, and I either need to solve that by going to streaming in 2560 by 1080 mode. Where it's like, no, my voice doesn't sound good in 2560 by 1080.
Trying to imagine. So all the extra pixels with all of the things, all the content that we've got so far being reduced to smaller size, but retaining its definition.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that actually, but that's
it just seems like a lot of work.
That's one of the things. The other thing I can do though is I can close this automatically when the die roll comes out. Albrecht's out there. Holy crap, Code Rush, all these effects and sounds are in the mod. Albrecht, no, they are not. You're actually listening to kind of a combination. I've got like different things going on here. I've got the mod. The mod is over here in the background kind of thing. So the mod is built in here. And so when I do things like I say, okay, time to do targeting on this, I say, go start targeting. Well, now what's happened though is on the live stream overlay, we're showing stuff that we've been developing for a couple years. So the fireball piece comes up here, that sort of thing.
So anything that's two-dimensional is definitely not in the mod.
Right.
There are some things in the overlay that look three-dimensional, like the rolling dice, and they are also not in the mod.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit weird. I guess you could say if it shifts with your view as we move around, that's in the mod. That's in TaleSpire as injected in. But no, the coins around the edge, they're not in the mod. Fred's not himself at least directly in the mod, but all of that three-dimensional stuff behind Mark that you can see there,
this is the mod.
That's the mod. That's the injection of things into TaleSpire using Unity, and BepInEx I think is the actual piece. I mean, not to say that we haven't done a lot, it's just not all in the same arena, so to speak. It's as Mark says, a cumulative effect.
Right. So here, let me move this, I think, right down about here. Is this a good place? I'm not sure if this is. I can't quite find the best place to show this. But one of the things that we've been working on two things, I think, for the last couple of weeks. We've been working on the targeting system, which you're seeing here. So it knows the spell, it knows the range. The targeting system is built in there. When I hit the button to roll the dice, the second piece that we've been working on is spell effects. Gosh, I was like, holy crap, you've done a lot. Yeah. No worries. And the spell effects, I think you'll be able to see it here. It'll start up, and then there'll be another effect over the top that'll kind of block it a bit. But we've created kind of a cool architecture for doing the spell effects. So when I go in and I say, okay, let's cast the spell Fireball, you'll see a fireball go from my character there it is, over to the target, and then the explosion. And we've added
that was fairly clear that time.
Yeah, we added that into TaleSpire. So we got spell effects for the spells we've added so far. We've created an engine that makes it pretty easy to add spell effects as well. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at as of today, starting today. Today, what I want to do though is I want to do tweaking to the targeting system. So if I come in here and I'm going around and I'm targeting folks like this, I want other minis and bad guys and whatever, I want their eyes on the target as I'm moving it around. So especially if I get close to them, I want them to be like looking at it kind of thing as I go around.
So you're going to rotate the piece to face that direction.
Right, I want to do that. And when I lay the target down, anybody who's in the range, I want them to all jump up and do the surprise animation is what I want to do. So I'm looking for both of those kinds of things that I want to add.
Okay.
One other thing, just to get you up to speed on this, Albrecht. We also have a different targeting mode. Okay, let's close this off and let's switch to individual targeting. What we can do is we can individually come in and target creatures in here like this. Let me do one more thing. I want to load up think I need to do a reload of the in-game creature data. And what's also cool about this, you'll see in a second here, I think. Let me turn off all the targeting and start it back on. All right, so here we go.
One moment, Surly Dev is entering the house.
Wants to show up. Hey, Surly. So if we come in here like this, and I target these, so I target this guy, and then I target this person over here. This is a friend, so friends show up in blue, and enemies show up in red. And so the targeting system is basically coming up to say who's targeting on the board, that sort of thing. And we have folks who are neither an enemy or a friend, and those folks show up as green. But I don't think I have any green folks out here right now. What's cool is you're seeing little targets show up here over the players. So if I'm actually clicking on a mini for a player, they're going to be targeted here as well.
Yeah.
So all of that is cool. But again, when I target, I want them to do that animation where they kind of pop up and they're like, what's going on? Yeah. So that's what we've been working on. Yeah, we have a real attention to detail on this show. If you're new here, with regards to the visual effects of the whole thing, right? We want it to look. It's got to look right, and so we kind of work it until it looks right. And so that's kind of where we are now with this. Okay, let me clean up all the targeting on that. Let's switch over to code, review, and we'll figure out how we want to do this. One of the things that I think is an easy start, I wholeheartedly approve regarding visual effects and attention to detail. Cool.
Excellent.
So, and that's what we live for. We live for your approval. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Surely Dev got a clip on there for the Spirewall effects. So first thing I want to do is do the animation. I think somewhere in here, over in my, wrong app. Over here in my mini, I've got an animate call somewhere out in here. I think I got a wiggle for sure. There's the wiggle. Twirl, knockdown, surprise. Surprise is the one I want. Right there.
So these are the emotes that we can send to TaleSpire, a particular token, i.e. character, and it will respond in kind by performing the emote.
Right, exactly. So this I think is going to be a real easy tweak right here. So what I want to do is when a character is selected, I want them to, do the surprise animation. Targeting is over inside this class over here, TaleSpire target, TaleSpire target. And I think it's this call set. Is that right? Am I remembering this correctly? This is one of the first ones we wrote, so I don't really like the name.
I think, there you go. Look, because the API good response is set targeted. You look at the last part of that.
Yeah. So this looks like it's it. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. We're going to say if we're targeted is equal to it. Already targeted, we get out. Then we come in here and we call add target to. So add target to takes a creature board asset. And at this point, I should be able to come in. Do we already have the ID? Do I want to? Well, I guess I can get it from there. I'm going to come in and say, what's going on here? If we already have it, okay, that's it. Okay, so here's where I want to do it. So I want to say minis dot surprise, and then I want to say creature board asset dot, I think world ID. That's what I want to send. And then maybe I got to do a toString on that, because it's needing a string. Is that what's going on? Surprise, let's go take a deep look at surprise and see what's happening. It goes player emote. It goes back to get the creature asset, which we kind of already have.
Yeah.
And then it calls play emote.
We could have an overload for play emote that took a creature board asset instead of a creature ID. Have this version call that version.
Yeah.
And then we'd be able to pass either.
I think I want to do that. Yeah, let's do that. We kind of want to make this be good. So what we're going to do is, do we just extract this as its own method, or do we take that bug up here as well? I'm not sure what.
The only annoyance is that return that's in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of with you. Whoops, I was about to type that in. I thought I had the mouse down there. Yeah, so I was about to just say, yeah, we've got what I think is a pretty cool architecture here for being able to modify, and that's one of the things. I put a post out in the TaleSpire modding forum saying that we were going live, basically because Because we've spent so much time kind of creating the tools and stuff like that, we actually have the ability to answer questions pretty quickly with regards to how do I do this if I want to create this kind of mod. So yeah, the return is kind of there. I think I'm going to keep it like that. That's what I'll do. So we're going to create this new thing here called play emote, like that. Whoop, why do we get the creature ID? Oh, I see. Is that what you were talking about?
The message itself.
Yeah, the message.
Interesting.
Right,
no, I hadn't seen that yet.
Right. So it's
an interesting point, though.
I'm going to do this like this. So we're going to say, okay.
Well, there's no need for a message, is there, in this extracted version? Because we have already found it. We're passing the real thing in. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling with like core architecture and design. I don't know what objects contain other objects, how to find things. I can answer all those questions for you effortlessly, Albrecht. So,
and this, in fairness, is due to the huge amount of time spent smacking foreheads against walls and similar.
Yeah, it took us about 3 weeks to get a decent exploration tool built. But now that we have it, we can go in and totally answer questions like you know whatever you want. You want to do something, you want to make you want to have a player have a fireball spin around his head. We can tell you how to do that. So you guys are a two-man team under the same handle? Kind of.
Yeah. Mark's the bulk of the team. Rory's the commenter who just sits here.
Rory's disembodied co-programmer. He helps me out on the show. We're actually, I actually work on another team. I work on a team at Dev Express. We build Code Rush. And what I'm doing during this live stream is I'm dogfooding it. So Code Rush is a tool in Visual Studio that helps us write code quickly. Sometimes you'll see me report an issue to the developers, something like that. Rory's here to just help out in that sense, and we've been selecting and working on TaleSpire for the last couple weeks. So that's what we're doing with our time. Yep, Rory's our British friend. He lends credibility.
I'll take that.
He lends credibility to the show. All right, so I've got play emote here. Part of the thing is that you've got these dumb, I don't have to remember these or pass these in from another place is kind of the deal. In fact, we're going to create a new class here. Yeah, I'm going to create a new class called animation names, maybe TaleSpire to animation names, I think is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create that class. And inside here, I'm basically going to, where's the wiggle? There it is right there. I'm going to put these in here. So we'll come in here and say animation names dot wiggle. Like that. And it's going to look like that. Whoops. Already had that in there. It's always sound refined and proper. It's true. Not all of us, said Copperbeardy. Rory is code royalty. I thought it said. I read that code quality at first.
The pressure is building to be good here. I'll try very hard not to let the side down.
You never let us down, man. You're awesome. Rory is. What's going on over here on my other stream deck? Interesting. Chat. Rory is. He's awesome. He's awesome. Okay, there's surprise. I think that one is correct. Let's double check it. Yeah, there it is.
Yes,
right
that's
there.
good.
So we're going to change this to animations dot surprise, or what is it? Animation names dot surprise, like that. And this one's going to be animation names dot knockdown. Let's go declare that as a constant. Like that. Okay, there's my knockdown, and then finally I've got twirl. I think I can just come over here and just do this and type in twirl, and it'll be faster, easier. If I spell it correctly, it would have been. Okay, there's twirl right there. Cogni or what's a CHAV? Is that pronounced chav? Do you know what that is?
Yes, that would be the pronunciation.
Is that a bad word? Can we not say that?
No, we can say that. I wouldn't like to cast aspersions on the group of people who might identify in that fashion. So.
No, we don't do that. No dispersions are cast over here on this show. Okay, so I've got a bunch of play emotes with all of this stuff here. And I think I'm going to just duplicate them, Rory, and then get a second set here. Instead of bringing in a string, is going to take a, what is it called? A
creature board asset? Is that one?
Board asset right there. All right, cool. And then I'm going to rename this to just creature. Look at that. Look at how CodeRush helped me out there.
Oh, gotta like that.
But what is this? Why don't I have that overload for play emote? I'm not sure why I'm not. It's, oh, did I get these wrong? Okay, no worries. I'm just going to change the order of these. Like that. And then everything should be happy. Sweet, look at that. All right, cool.
There we go.
So now I've got kind of a more efficient way to play the emotes. That's all that's going on there. Okay, that was a CodeRush feature called duplicate selection, which allowed me to just take all of that and just change the type of one thing to another. Okay, next we're going back over to targeting. And now that I've got this, I'm going to say minis.surprise. And I think this time I've got two overloads. I'm going to just take the creature, right?
Yeah, like that's right. We can just take the creature and that's done.
Done. Okay, let's go back over on the TaleSpire side of things. Now, this is only one. Is this add target 2? No, I think this will impact, I think it'll impact everything. I'm just thinking about I guess there's some spells where you select a target area.
Yep.
What is the problem here? Somebody's failed to build. Something argument 2's got a problem somewhere. Oh yeah. There. Okay. I didn't do a reorder parameters on that because I had all the other ones there that I built using duplicate selection. Okay, on the TaleSpire machine, which I've switched to.
So, just to return to our initial point, although we have done some refactoring and improved our API, the point of that small exercise was to make it so that when we targeted somebody, a token on the screen within TaleSpire, they are now going to jump in surprise and play their surprise emote, as well as previous actual becoming targeted. Does this also happen, Mark, based on your knowledge of things, when we clear the target, if we toggle the target off?
No, it shouldn't.
Will they also?
It shouldn't.
No? Okay.
No, and the code we were looking at, here, I'll go back and show it to you. The code we were looking at, where's surprise? We'll find it. Well, maybe we'll just hit escape to get back. So we only added it to add target 2, not remove target from. So add target 2 calls in surprise. So yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, back over
Good
here.
Stuff.
Turn on targeting. Targeting's on. Let's go ahead and toggle. There you go. Sweet. Toggle.
Yep.
Sweet. There it is. Nice. Let's turn around here so we can see his face. Oh, that's right, buddy. Getting you too. I don't know. It's not bad. The surprise animation is a little bit like a little bit like here I am, but it's not bad. It's not bad. There's another thing that's happening too with regards to talking about tweaking targeting, and that is that this is a friend, but she's showing up as a foe color. I actually have to go in and manually do a reload.
That's right, because our default load doesn't load that information for some reason.
Something's not working here. If I clear her and bring her back after I've done the load, now she shows up correctly. So there's something I think happening there's some initialization that we're missing. And I'm not sure if I want to do that right now, or at the very least, maybe I'll just make a note of it at least, and we'll say, okay, here's what we have to work on today. So we'll call this target tweaking. And here's my to-do. Make sure character, creature sides, creatures what side data is sent. Because the only way this works is, I'm pretty sure this is a decision made down in TaleSpire. Down to TS. Okay, that's one of the things we want to do. We took care of the surprise jump. That's not bad. I'm making that works. The next thing I want to look at turning the mini to face the target.
Yeah.
When the target is close.
Now, let's be clear here. If you're targeting, you're doing this as a player or as a NPC or DM.
Yeah.
So what would you turn to face? If you are the one being targeted, you have to face the origin of what is targeting you? as DM, that's not got a location.
But
the NPC and potentially somebody who's casting a spell at you, they would have a location.
No, right. I want them to target the UI control. I want them to face the UI control. I mean.
Oh, so face the camera, so to speak.
Not the camera, the control. Here, let me switch back over here so you can see it. So when we're in targeting mode here, this thing as it moves around, if this gets close to you,
of course.
I want them to follow it. That's what I want them to do. Like they're a little bit nervous and they're interested in it. That's what I'm trying to convey here.
Sure.
A sense of interaction and aliveness to the minis. That's what I'm trying to get. Okay. So we want to face the target indicator or the targeting UI when the target is close. When it is close. Okay. I want to do that. I want to drop a target when we commit it, and then clean it up when the die roll. When the dice are rolled, I think maybe. So when the dice roll, maybe when the dice roll completes. Because I think it's really useful. It's kind of like I want to drop something out on the game board, right? I think it's really useful to see it. Okay, I think we're going to go to R&D land here. This is R&D right here. Because right now I don't know how to do this, and we're going to have to figure it out. Let me show you what I've built so far in TaleSpire to get us close. So let's go back to the code. Let's start with I'm going to show you the code. I wrote this morning. Actually, it was this what I thought was this great idea for logging. Because I was, at first I was thinking, well, I want to create if I want to explore changes to something, how can I do that? Right? That's kind of what I wanted to do. And I was saying, well, I can create a timer, and then I can send out the data all the time. But then you have to scroll through all of this data, right, to see where the change is, right? And I was like, why didn't I ever think about this, or why haven't I ever heard anybody talk about this before? I created a change only method in our logger so that we can give it a label and a value. And so we pass that in. We check to see if the history contains the value. It's just a dictionary.
Oh, okay.
Right? Isn't this clever? And
this is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. I'm like, and the thing is, normally you don't have to worry about this because you can actually step through the code, but modding TaleSpire makes it incredibly hard to, at least for me, the steps to try to break into that with a debugger are incredibly hard from everything I can tell, for a couple reasons. One is that it appears, I saw some evidence, as if the DLLs are shadow copied or copied to another location and then loaded. That appears to be problem number one. Problem two, it's on a second machine. Problem three, it's Unity, right? There's and there's one document out there that says, here's how you do it, and it's like 20 to 24 steps. And I saw that and I was just like, oh God, no. So logging is what we do instead. And since we have such a dependency on logging, we can now do this kind of change only thing here, call here. And I've got a call to change only up in this method right here called update mini rotation. Albert says, so getting back on topic, the rotation of the mini to look at the targeting UI, wouldn't you be altering the rotation of one of the creature transforms to draw a ray towards the position of the UI during the updating method? Yes, that is kind of correct. I don't need to draw a ray. I won't be there. There'll be some math somewhere in place of drawing a ray. But yes, it's essentially correct. I found some code online. So update mini rotation, by the way, this is called directly from a button on the form and also from a timer. And I can start that timer if I click a checkbox called CHK track angle. That's over here in show designer. That's over in this part of the UI. So I can click on that track angle. The data will show up here, but that's what I started doing first. And then I thought, oh wait, I'll do this change only. So it only logs it if there's a change from the last time. And so we're going to just
takes a lot of the noise away, doesn't it?
Yeah, and now instead of having to add a new UI element, I can just go to the log and see what's going on over there. Albrecht says, so no more, so more like taking, the two positions, creating a straight line between the two, then altering the rotation along the X and Z to match. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to figure out what that is. Now I've got a method in here that I found online. I don't know if it works, but I've got it, and it's called angle between vector 2 is what it is. That's it right there. And it's basically, I get two vectors in there. I take the difference. There's some math here that I've clearly forgotten since, you know those days. And it's just going to get a sign here based on, I guess, whether one vector is smaller than the other, I guess. And then it's going to use the difference, going to angle right, whatever. I have no idea what this is going to do, but it says it's going to work. The code that sample code used the transform and then the another angle. And I've used this, tried it, and it's not working. So we're in R&D mode is what we're in right now.
Sure,
we need to discover how to calculate the angle, the correct angle to rotate a Mini towards. We need to discover that.
Yeah, so it's a rotational delta of sorts, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I do have where is it? Core. In my extension methods, I managed to discover how to get the rotation. So I can actually find it where a creature is rotated.
That's the current orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I've got a set rotation right here. And it's basically through something called a rotator that you can access off of creature board asset. Pretty sure this works. Maybe we should test that.
Sure. Be good to be able to rely on it.
Let's test it
to know that it is what we want. I did have a quick question, Mark. So the plan is to be waving the, as you say, the Dungeon Master's presence in the world, the flashlight or targeting UI.
Yeah.
And if it gets close enough to any given token, the token's going to be reacting to it by turning and looking at it as if suspicious or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Do you wish, though, when this same UI leaves that range, for them to rotate back to where they were?
Yes.
So we're going to want to store their existing rotation when we change it.
Yes, you are correct, sir. I do want that. That's like level 2, level 3 is animated back. All of that.
Nice.
Well, level 2/3 is have it go back to where they were looking before.
Easing in those directions rather than immediate transition.
Yeah, the goal here is to make them look intelligent. That's what the goal is here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got these 3 buttons here labeled 1, 2, and 3. On the form, and they're just for doing things like what we're about to do right now. And this is like TBX1, TBX2, TBX3. I just need to change some text here, and then put some code in there. We're ready to go. So we're going to call this set mini rotation, like that is what we're going to call it. And we'll double click on that. Whoops, moved it. Double click it. And here I think I want to say, do I have a way to get the selected one? Get selected. Looks like I do. Okay, selected. So we're going to see who's selected, and if that works, if it's not null, we're going to go into TaleSpire. Oh no, wait, I don't have to. It's already an extension method on here. Rotate piece away from, what's rotate towards? I think that's, what is rotate towards? So this is super interesting.
That's useful. If that does what it suggests, then we pretty much say we're done. I mean, that's
done. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this really works. This would be awesome. Yeah, found the silver bullet. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. Let's say TaleSpire.minis.get. Do I have a get creature board asset? It needs an ID. I'll go get Merkin. No, I'll get Cutie. I'm going to get Cutie's ID. So I'm going to get little Cutie. Cutie, that's the gnome fighter that's on the board right there. And then if that's, I'm going to basically do this. I'm going to say, hey, Cutie, I want Cutie to rotate towards whatever's selected. So I'm going to say selected dot, what is it? Base loader dot position. Is there a position up here? There's a transform. I can do that. Transform dot position. Let's try that as my click 1. Wouldn't it be cool? We're just done.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go stop TaleSpire on the second machine.
So just whilst you're starting up and about to sort of demonstrate what we've got, Albrecht's got a question now, a couple questions in the chat room. He was asking about the attaching a debugger during runtime. Is that just not possible, or just not in your testing? I think arguably we've heard that it's possible, but the series of steps that we've been presented with look a bit arduous, and we really haven't been bothered to try them with too much degree of effort, shall we say?
Yeah.
The second question was...
The way I would put it, Rory, is we were defeated by the instructions.
Okay.
We looked at the instructions, I was like, oh no. Because it looked like a good hour or two of steps before you'd find out if it would work or not. And I was just like, ugh. I can't do that on the show, I think. There's no way I'm going to do that here, and I don't really...
Life felt a little too short in that moment to follow those instructions. The second question, that is, was whether we're planning on releasing a utility library with a bunch of this stuff. Now, I don't know that any maintained utility library is necessarily in the offing, but to the best of my knowledge, Mark, are we not basically throwing all of this into GitHub on a more or less daily basis?
All the code is out there. The problem is it's not kind of really separate. But the code is out there. I actually would like to do that, but I don't have the bandwidth to put this all by itself, at least not right now. But there is a ton of research here. If you look in over here on the side, there are sections here for TaleSpire camera, components, convert, effects, flashlight, game objects, instances, logs, all kinds of things here, including the ability to load up assets that are out there and then play them as spell effects and then clean them up later, that sort of thing. So like yesterday, let's see, are we starting up over here? Yeah, we're starting up on the second machine. Yesterday we did, I don't think you were here with us, Rory, when we did this. We did, yeah, you weren't here yesterday. We did Gaseous Form. And so Gaseous Form is a spell. It's kind of complicated. The rules are basically that you touch somebody and transfer to them power, right? So Gaseous Form basically involves a spell effect that goes to someone else.
Right, yes. This is our previous theory of when spells are cast or similar things happen, you gift the target the magic that causes the effect.
Yeah. And so
you're talking about turning somebody into mist by giving them some qualitative, you are mist magic.
Right. So little cutie's got Gaseous Form. This is Merkin over here. We can target Merkin with this. I think let's go in and just hit that button there and target Merkin. Oops, that was Fred, sorry. Target Merkin. There's Merkin targeted. Again, wrong color. We need to fix that still. And Gaseous Form. And then she casts it. Let me move her a little further away, even though it's supposed to be a touching distance, just so you can see what's going on. But with only like about 2 lines of code, because the engine is so cool, maybe 3, we create the effect for her. Only 1 target is allowed. I got more than 1 target. Oh, I do. Okay, hold on a second. Looks like lady is that lady target? Oh, cutie is targeted. Okay. All right, try again. One more time. Okay. So we should see there. So her effect starts. Now they come over to this, and then this effect starts.
Yeah.
Right there. It looks like NDI is crashed between the two. Oh, there we go. It just kicked in again.
Back up.
Yeah.
Small delay.
Yeah. And so now we've got Gaseous Form. Gaseous Form is tracked right there. It's a spell that lasts for an hour. We've got the D&D clock over here. That's not in TaleSpire. That's, part of for the live stream. And the D&D clock stops automatically if we go into battle. And so that could last, potentially hours in real time if we were in battle or something like that. But this is now attached to the mini. So if I move the mini over like this, right? And we did all this with just like 2 lines of code. So we've got this cool Gaseous Forms effect. We have effects on the caster and transfer projectiles that go across.
And yourself in the 2D layer.
Right, on the 2D layer, I'm now in Gaseous Form as well, right? So that's happening. So all of that is going on and happening. So it's kind of cool. If we advance the clock, continue to advance it, You can see the hourglass kind of running out over there, and then finally enough time has passed. Similarly, yesterday we were testing with damage on, Albrecht, I think you'll like this. Watch this. This is a fun thing. We've got live damage on the characters. So if I go over to me as the active character here, and I say, okay, let's give myself some damage. Watch this. Isn't that cool? That makes me happy to see minis bleed. I like to see minis bleed. If we come in and say add health, right? Then the effects are happening right there inside TaleSpire over the mini like that. So kind of cool. All right, so let's test what we just wrote, right? So we've got this UI. I'm going to put it over here, actually. And, well, actually, it's this one right here. So it is, we said it was going to rotate, I was going to rotate little cutie towards the selected character. That's what I was going to try and do. So let's see what happens. If I hit set mini rotation, nothing seems to happen. Just to double check that code, make sure that's what we were expecting. Yeah, it's this, get selected.
Character.
Okay, well, we're not doing anything with regards to, logging on this.
True.
So what is the widget that's on the screen above the TaleSpire window? Let's see, I think I just moved it. Let's switch back over. Oh, wait, you're not talking about the CodeRush thing there, are you? What are we talking about, the widget?
So there is a widget in the upper left of the stream.
That CodeRush one, is that what I think he's talking about? That is the...
the Form Explorer. Sorry, no, the application, your control panel, I believe.
Good. Okay, because I was like, what? You want to know about that? Oh, yeah, it's this. So this is one of the tools we built to get in. There's another tool we use to ask and answer questions, This is one of the tools. We have no... So back to this part of the problem with the code here, we don't have any kind of logging on here. So I guess at the very least I want to do like an else statement here and then a like an error no selected creature like that. And let's go, we do the rotate.
Is that the distinction mark? It's selected versus targeted.
It's here. Selected, get selected, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. No, wait. It's not. This is a different version of selected. Pretty sure. Wait. No, it is. Sorry, I was just kind of glazing over and not really reading this code. Yeah, local client selected creature ID is what's going on there. So my understanding is, as far as TaleSpire is concerned, we've already got warnings here. Selected asset found, selected asset not found. Let's go back and see if we see any warnings in the log. We should already see the warnings. Selected asset found. Okay. So when I click on this one more time, selected asset found. Okay, so we know it's finding the asset.
So just a problem with rotate towards.
Rotate towards cutie, rotate cutie towards. Cutie is not rotating towards. Oh wait, did I have the wrong one selected? Let's try again. Maybe that was my fault.
We need to see the non-code window there, Mark.
Let's make sure
There we go.
I don't have cutie selected. Let's try it again. It was my fault apparently. But she did.
There was a shift.
Let's try it again. Oh, I have to keep clicking it.
So rotate a small quantity towards.
It's meant to animate. Now I got it. Okay. We can still use it. We don't have to do any math at all. Huh. That's really interesting. What do they... I would think they might give me a parameter on that rotate, piece.
Yeah.
Do they give me?
I don't recall there being anything though.
They don't. What other rotate things do I have out here? Yeah, repeated calls over time.
It does mean that you can't have a sudden movement if that becomes required later with this particular mechanic.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. I'm okay with that for now. Okay, yeah, we just have rotate towards is what we have. I'm okay with this for now because it's saving me math. If it saves me math, I'm good. Okay, so if we have a rotate towards now, what we want to do, okay, we kind of imagine and think about the architecture here. I think what I need is a list of creatures I'm that are in range that I'm rotating towards. I need to store the original locations for those creatures as well, right? So we yeah, the first time we encounter a creature, like we move, a sphere close to, a group of creatures. The first time we encounter, we'll say, oh, we know about this creature. Let's figure out where they're pointing, and we'll add it to a list. Okay. We'll also add it to the start moving towards and looking at, and as we move around, we'll see who's in range. And we'll check it maybe 5 times a second, something like that. We won't I don't want to 30 times a second be, asking for everybody on the board.
Sure.
But 5 times a second we'll ask for everybody on the board. Or maybe we just ask when we start targeting. Maybe we ask once for everyone. Just for efficiency's sake. And then when we get close, we start rotating it towards so it looks at the the targeting piece. All right. Okay. So let's build these pieces one at a time because I'm going to forget them if I just go through the whole thing. We need a class, I think, that's going to manage these. That's going to manage all of these pieces we're holding on to. Could call it once per update. I'm worried about that. That's 30 times a second, and I'm worried about just doing. I'm trying to. Since we're doing it 30 times a second, I want to be as efficient as possible. That's kind of what I want to do. So we need to maintain a list of creature board assets and their original locations.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to create a new class out here. This is going to be my mini rotator, is what I'm going to call this thing. My mini rotator. And it's going to have a list of, creature board assets. Like that. And these are going to be my... No, I don't want a list. I'm sorry, I want a dictionary.
More like a dictionary, yeah.
I want a dictionary. I may also want a list, but I want a dictionary of creature board assets going to a vector 3. That's what I want, like that. And so this is going to be our original angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. That's what that's going to be. Okay. I think it's going to have an update method. Like this. And we'll call it, we're going to create an instance of this inside of our static target class. So somewhere in here we'll create a property of mini rotator type, call it mini rotator, and we'll initialize it to a new instance of mini rotator. So our mini rotator will be able to then call this. And so for somewhere in here we've got an update method. Let's just type it in, update, where are you? And we're going to call mini rotator.update. Like that, okay? So this is called, this right now we'll do it, we can go ahead and do it 50 times a second, that sort of thing. When we set the active target disk, I think, to a value, yeah, we're turning on targeting. I think, is that right? Start targeting. Yeah, it's set in 2 different places, unfortunately. I guess what I'm thinking is I've got on there. Where's the second place it was set? Here. I just want to see if start targeting is connected with on at all. We're not really calling, yeah, it's not. So we kind of have two places that we need to initialize. I'm going to just call this initialize targeting here, like this.
Okay.
I think like that. And I'm going to go back to the on method, and I'm going to call it from there as well. Nope, wrong on method, sorry. On method there. And we're going to call initialize targeting. The question is, yeah, I don't think I necessarily really want to tie it to that. So I'm going to say initialize targeting. Initialize targeting, let's declare it. Then we're going to go into our mini rotator and we're going to say initialize like this. And here's where I think we're going to go get everybody on the board. Because all we have to do is get a list of them and then we're good. Because basically we're writing code that is going to be essentially, it's not going to work 100% of the time. In other words, if I start targeting and then I drop a new mini on, we're not going to see it and it won't, look. I don't care. Yeah. So we're just going to get them all now. So we're going to go into TaleSpire.minis. We're going to call get all, I think. And we will... I do want to change this, though. I want to explicitly call it here. Let's call this all minis, like that. I'm going to go into original angles and I'm going to clear it. Okay, so when we initialize, we're going to clear that. That potentially means also there's another potential bug, and the potential bug goes like this: is if I'm in the process of rotating somebody towards the target, and then I move, and then I'm there, and I somehow stop targeting and immediately restart it, it's going to store this position.
It's going to store the position you've reached so far in your initial rotation, rather than retaining the one that was back in the first place. Yeah. Unless we have some kind of deinitialize, right? Yeah, whereby we reset it immediately.
Yeah, maybe we move it to there. Maybe we get this out of here. I'm really not. It's a minor feature. It's just there to kind of add a sense of life.
Indeed.
If this bug happens, it's an okay bug to happen. In other words, I don't know if I even really want to call it a bug yet. So we're going to get all the minis, and I think that's it for now. Okay, next, we need to go check as we move in our update. In fact, in our update, I want to pass in the position. How am I getting that position? The position of the flashlight. Target distance from. Get targeting cursor distance to position. Well, this kind of can do it. I could use this call. How is this? How fast is this code? That code looks like it's incredibly fast. So I'm good with this. Okay? So good there. Go back. This is the code I'm going to use. Hold on one second though. Get targeting distance, cursor distance to. This is private. I think I'm going to make it public. Yeah, I'm going to make it public. And then we'll be able to call it from the other side and we'll be okay. So we're going to, what we will need to do is we need to go iterate through all the minis. Okay, and we need to do get targeting distance to, and we need to go in and say creature board asset dot, probably transform dot position. And that's going to be over in targeting. What's wrong here? What do you not like here? Oh, it's a character position. I just need a different one of these. I'm going to make a copy of this here and make one that takes a vector 3 in. That. Oh, shoot, it's already a vector 3. Hold on. New vector 3, it's just that is what it is. And this is going to return the other one, creating the new vector 3 here. So if you're wondering what character position is, yeah, that's good. Okay. C Men wins again. No risk, no believing or leading. Okay, fine. You got the number one. You got the number one baby maker there. It looks like in your tag name. Should have probably commented on that. There's a family show, kids. It's a show about making families. All right, so I think I did that right. This was previously where we're basically converting something that wasn't a vector 3 into a vector 3. Character position is just a class I created so I could talk across the network. So it's just got a bunch of stuff that I can serialize easily out into a string. And it's got this vector DTO right here, which just looks like this. So that's all that is. And that's what I was working. I was creating a new vector 3 from that. And also these are created in such a way so that they don't have reliance on Unity, or, you know, basically the smallest reliance upon other DLLs as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it means that also that, I mean, instead of relying on Vector 3 for sort of transmission across network, in case Unity did maybe decide to change Vector 3 to include extra pieces and make it invalid to construct it without, it's unlikely, but it does mean that nothing will go wrong for us in that case because we're not using it for that sort of just DTO purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Talking across the network, what network? So
Good question.
So I've got two machines here. I've got TaleSpire on the second machine, and I've got the development environment on the first machine. So TaleSpire is running on the second machine because this is for a live streaming show that I'm producing, and the second machine is dedicated to just showing the effects on TaleSpire, whereas this machine is just dedicated for the effects on the overlays. And so we're just distributing the work is what we're doing. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a link out there. Roy put a link out there. Dragon Hunters, we're currently not broadcasting. We're still kind of getting used to the new tech and integrating TaleSpire. But you know, we'll probably be getting started sometime in the next maybe month or two. We'll start that up again.
We should probably mention Dragon Hunters not intended to be quite as family friendly as this channel.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be able to tell from the name of the show that
possibly
it's not as family friendly. I didn't know if this was related to all the various ways to communicate state between TaleSpire clients. Yeah, it's not. That was developed, that part of the engine, and then plugins that work on top of that. I think HoloFox created some. Those are, Those are using a different technique. And all we're doing is we're just essentially, I think we're using sockets. I'm just not an expert. I can barely tell you if that's what we're using or not. Not using pun. We're not using.
One thing that is probably worth being aware of is that everything we're doing here, as Mark says, is dedicated ultimately to this second channel, this second show that he has done in the past and will be doing again. As such, this is the code that we've been using does not run across networks, so to speak, right? So we're just generating all of these things, all these plugins, all these added assets. They're only happening on a single machine. That's why we were able to get away with, you saw earlier, the targeting logic with the cross, where the cross faces the camera. We're manipulating actual geometry inside the engine, pointing at a fictitious single location. If you had a multiplayer game going on with multiple people with their own copy of TaleSpire, the way we're injecting assets, the other people would not currently see those assets, and even if they did, did, that cross, for example, would be facing in a single direction, not multiple, depending on who you are. So there are some caveats to the way we're doing it, which suit the nature of what we're using it for.
Right. It's built for the stream. Yeah, good answer, Rory. It's built for the stream, not for the players. But the players are also live seeing what I'm sending out on the stream.
Yeah.
So they can see those effects, but they're seeing them, a little bit delayed. Now, everything we're doing here could be working across, but we'd have to go into use Pun or something else like that to do the communication. We have to write all that code, and we're trying to streamline the process because we've only got a couple hours every day that Rory and I are able to apply to this. Yep, good. We give you a good answer to the question. All right, back over here. So if the distance is less than some threshold, maybe we'll create something in here called min distance to watch, and we'll make that we'll declare that up here as 20 feet. Like that. So if my distance is less than that minimum threshold, whatever that is, then I want to watch the creature. So now here's where I need that list. Watch creatures. Pretty sure I need it. Oops. Should have been that, and that should have been that. So those are my watch creatures. So watch creature is going to see, hey, are we already watching this guy? And if we are, we're going to, if it contains, I'm a little bit worried about this code executing every time, because the contains has got to go through the whole list as well. So the more you get this kind of like n squared kind of order to the algorithm. So I'm a little bit worried about that.
That's true, but the number of what's the max number of creatures you're going to have? 400. Right. So not too bad.
No, it's not 400. It's 1,000 creatures is what it is. There's actually, well, that's not even true. Those are the initialized values inside of TaleSpire. So they say no more. For the dictionaries in the list for creatures, it's 400 hex. So yeah, it's not a lot that I'm.
they're going to binary chop their way through this. So we go 1,500, 250, etc.
But it doesn't change the order of this. In other words, I'm like iterating through everyone here. Then to find out if it's in, I've got to then iterate through a whole bunch of these as well. If we already contain it, I'm going to write the code here for now. I'm just going to say, look, if we already contain it, then we're done and out. Otherwise, we're going to say add. I'm anticipating more code here. I'm just not sure what it is yet. Okay, sure. In the watch creature. That's why I've got it as its own method instead of something else. Instead of just inlined over here. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to create call a method called unwatch creature.
Yep.
Whoops! No, I hate that. Oh, Visual Studio. Instead of taking CodeRush features and implementing them, why not just fix these features? I know I should have said that. Roy will tell you what I really meant by that. I think we can call remove on an item that's not in it, and it's no cost. No error, no cost. I'm pretty sure about that. Okay? Do you agree with that, Rory? Do you know about that or no?
I don't know. I'm still a little confused why we're not using the dictionary as the primary form of...
Yeah, the dictionary is only holding the original angles. And
sure, but everybody's going to have one, so their existence, if they're in the list, they will be in the dictionary.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I guess I was thinking kind of separation in terms of functionality, and I'm worried a little bit about removing entries from the original angles. But maybe for no good reason, I'm worried about that. Like I can't
imagine there's two reasons you'd remove. One, because they've already reverted and are looking in the original angle, thus we don't need to track it anymore, or we just don't care to track it at all for other reasons.
Yeah, here's the reason why I'm not doing it, is because I can't remove from here because I need to keep the original angles. Once I've stored it, I need to keep it. Because if I move away from the creature, if that targeting sphere moves away, it's going to start moving back. And then if I come right back into it, which is certainly a possibility, Well, I can't, if I removed it and then as I come back, I'll say, well, what's your new angle? That'll be the one I come back to. Then I lose at least that. That's a common case, right?
So it's a re-entrancy problem.
I guess, yeah. So I want to be able to preserve the original angle separately from whether I'm watching it or not. That's why I need two lists. Okay, so like I say, I'm pretty sure we have no penalty here on the remove. Unwatch, I don't like the, I'm gonna just call it stop watching. Creature, like that. Okay, so now I've got my watch creatures. Now, if we've got a watch creature, we need to start moving it towards one of two things. If we're moving it, the target moving, so we're always, if we're in the range, we're always going to be following the target. If we stop watching it though, we need another list, I think. Restoring creatures, restoring rotation creatures. Restore rotation creatures. Maybe that's what I'll call it. Okay, so we'll have this, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we're going to add that, the creature board asset to it, like that. Okay. I think I got a Coder's feature request. Okay, devs, check this out. I want to create this line of code. I think I've talked about this before. So I'm here, I go here, I hit enter on add. Coder's gives me all of this. But look at the type. It's a creature board asset. What's in scope? The closest thing in scope of that type is right there. It should suggest that. If there was a local here, closer in scope, it should suggest that instead. There's no penalty if it's wrong, right? I just type over it. But instead of saying item, it should suggest creature board asset, right? Save me some time here. That's the feature. Okay. Feature request, smarter, IntelliSense, IntelliRush, completion, suggestions. Come on, guys. Let's get this done. This one's going to be good. Yeah, I've talked about this before, and the initial response from the devs was like, but there's so many options sometimes. We can't always know. I'm like, just get the closest thing. Just get the closest thing, and then that'll work. Okay. All right, so we've got stop. So we've got restore rotation creatures are here. And now what we want to do is we want to go do the rotate to call that we discovered earlier. So low scope name or object makes sense. Yeah, it's just a suggestion. We're highlighting it. So yeah, it should definitely be there. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go through all our watched creatures. Any watched creatures is going to be in range, right?
Yep.
So we're going to go through all our watched creatures, and we're going to say, wait, there's something I need. Get targeting cursor distance 2. We're going to call this targeting position. If I can spell that correctly. Targeting position. I'm going to make that into a property. Nope. Okay. Let's protect it a little bit. Can I do that? I can't do that. Oh, because it's a vector. 3. All right, fine. It's not protected. Let's instead do this. Well, hold on. I think I can do this. This is not something I don't normally use what I'm about to do here, but I think I can do it like...
You scroll a little down, Mark. It's just hovering behind your head.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to get it on. I'm going to do it here, and then we'll get there. So we'll say, okay, so if not null, then we're going to do that. Otherwise, we're going to say return vector3.0. Something like that, I suppose. Okay, and now what can I do here? Anything? Convert to conditional expression.
If you've got an else, then you could do a ternary expression, is that right?
Yeah.
I think it needs the else. Oh, no.
Well, I can do this kind of a thing, a conditional, and then I can come up here and I can say use expression body. That's where I was trying to get to right there. But I was like, do I really want to write all that code? Okay. So anyway, that's it. So it's going to return either the position or the vector 0. And now we can do this. I'm going to make that public. All right. Then back up in my update, I'm going to set a local variable to that because I don't want to, be going and querying that every single time. Really? Declare local gives me that. Oh, because I don't have... It's not fully qualified. Okay. Okay, so there's my targeting position. I'm going to get that. And now I want to say watched creature dot rotate towards, right? Targeting position. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so there's that step. Step 2 is going into the, what is it? The restore rotation creatures.
Each of these will be rotating towards its original angle.
Yes, if it exists. We have to make sure it exists.
True.
Also, we are failing to, I did say there was going to be additional code here in watch creature. So if we contain it, we're out. Otherwise, we're going to say, okay, hey, if original angles dot contains key of creature board asset, if it does not contain the key, then I'm going to add it. I'm going to say original angles dot add creature board asset. Yeah, there it is again, Rory. That's where this should be. So it's already suggesting.
Yeah.
Right? It should totally be suggesting it. And vector 3.
That'd be
what's
very
the
handy.
closest vector 3 do we have? We have any? We do not. We do not. We do not. All right, fine. So we don't want to have a suggestion there. It'll just be whatever it is. This we're going to say original angle. Oh, this is going to be, let's see, do I have an extension method on this? Get rotation. I'm pretty sure that's a vector 3. It is, and it returns back local Euler angles on the rotator. Sweet. Which should work. It should, if they built this the way I want them to have built this, everything should work. Okay.
Yep.
So and I'm getting that, just so you know where I'm getting that from. So let's go over here. We'll show you the second tool here, the effect editor. Right here. This is the effect editor. If I go into and I say explore a mini and I grab this character right here and I jump down inside here. Albrecht says, I got to run, but this is super informative and impressed with what you guys have accomplished. Well, thank you, Albrecht. Look forward to seeing more. And I might take a peek at GitHub at some point, see if there's anything I can learn from you guys. I have no problem with that. No problem at all. The place you want to look if you go to GitHub is the TaleSpire Explore project. It's inside. Let's get you a link to that. Can you get him a link, Rory? Can you work on that?
On it.
We'll get that for you if you have time to wait for that. All right, so over here in the clone, I've got a rotator. See that rotator? This is kind of how I discovered this. So I'm looking through this rotator, its local Euler angle, see that? Look at that. See the Z on that? The Z on that changes depending on where I am. If I come over here and refresh it, there it is right there. See that? So that's updating depending on how I spin around. So as I move this around, we do this now, we're at 250 degrees. Move over here, we're going to eventually get, as we keep going, we're at 322. We're going to cycle all the way around and go back to 0. Let's see, what are we at now? We're at 8. See it? So that goes up to about 359 and then back to 0. That's what I discovered is the rotator. So the Z position of the rotator is the angle in degrees. Okay? So when I call get rotation on it, that should, let's take a look at that back over on the code side of things. There it is. Well, it's going to the rotator, which I'm pretty sure is the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. I haven't verified that yet, so we'll be kind of debugging and verifying here. So we're going to add that as an original angle there. Okay? Good. Now, down here, we want to say, hey, if original angles dot contains key of restore rotation creature, then we want to now rotate. We don't want to rotate towards anymore because we don't have a base position anymore. What do we have? Yeah. We do have the rotator. The rotator is a flat out transform. We could just cheat.
Okay.
And instead of rotating, animating for now, we could just say you're there. Oh, really? No? Original angles? I thought you were vector 3s. Weren't you? You are. So you're not a vector 3? Oh, you're a transform. Sweet. Of course you are. All right. So we just cheat to get back. Now, since I cheat, I'm going to take it out of the list. Since I'm taking it out of the list, I got to convert this to a for loop, and I got to go backwards through it. Like that. Okay, so now we're going to be restore rotation creatures dot remove at passing an I. Like that. Okay?
Yep.
I think there's a shot that's going to work in the update.
I think so too.
Okay, so just to review, mini rotator. We're creating a new instance of it. It's a member of TaleSpire target, TaleSpire.target, mini rotator. Yep. There's the initialize, there's the update call. The update, we go through here and we are checking to see if we decide whether to watch or not. Let's maybe extract this. Watch or not. Like that. And this is rotate towards. Rotate watched creatures towards target. Yeah, this one should be animated, but rotate other creatures back. Like that. All right, and then if we did this right, so restore rotation creatures are being removed here.
Yep.
What about stop watching creature? Yeah, that's called from here, watch or not. So we'll stop watching it, we'll remove it. I think there's a shot this is going to work. Let's shut down TaleSpire on the second machine. Let's do a rebuild. Okay, that succeeded. All right, getting ready with the targeting UI. All right, so here we go. Turn on targeting. Well, I'm not seeing anything happen.
No.
That works still. That part's all good. But nothing as I move through. Let's change it just in case, because there may be, I'm going to turn all that off for a second. Let's go back and let's actually check the log too. Anything in the log? Nothing. No errors at least. Let's cast Fireball and see what's going on with it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's actually working really well. Like, it's sweet.
That's really good.
Like, almost it's, and then I go away, they instantly go back to where they were. What's interesting is this is actually the radius for whether we're watching or not is exactly matching the radius of this particular spell. It's 20 feet. So it's kind of like as they go in, you can actually see what's happening.
Yeah. So it's interesting. What's the remind us again? What's the logic of their turn to look at it? Is it, are we sort of picturing suspicion or surprise, or what sort of? Well, because I almost wonder if the animation isn't back to front, right? If I hear like a noise in the corner of the room, I turn suddenly towards it, and then when it proves not to be that interesting, I slowly turn back to what I was doing.
Oh,
so it depends if that's the way you were looking at it.
Yeah, I could do that. Haven't done that yet, but the intent of this is to basically be like, oh, I'm gonna target in a place. I want the creature to be like, oh, this is a space that, aware that, oh, that's not good. If the target is too close, the distance from the target, we don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna change some code to stop that, because that's a pretty easy bug to fix. Let's see what we got here. That is in rotate towards here. If you watch creature, where am I going to do that check? It's kind of a third state. I've got rotate towards, I've got stop right, watching, and oh, you're too close. Too close to rotate is kind of the state.
Too close is kind of the escape clause preceding the other two. So if you're not too close, then carry on.
Yeah. I can also just add code that recalculates it. I'm just trying to balance performance, anticipated performance efficiency kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm feeling it's like this. Maybe a pause creature? Mm-hmm. All right, let's try that. Too close to animate is probably about maybe 2 feet, something like that. Min distance to watch. What's interesting too is like, what if I change that based on the radius? In other words, if you're in the area of impact, and if not, it's going to be like 30 feet or something like that. I think I actually kind of want to bring it up to maybe 30 feet. Do I? 30 feet? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like, I don't know. We'll just play with this. All right, for a second. Let's go into pause creature. And I think pause creature is just going to be a separate list. And I got to be careful here on how I do this. Yeah. we're going to say pause creatures is here. If watch creatures contains it there. Again, I think we have that free, no cost remove right there. So we're going to remove it here in watch creature. Do we remove it? I almost think we're going to remove it everywhere. If we say stop watching creature, yeah, there as well. And in pause creature, we're going to say pause creatures.add creature board asset. I think that's right, Rory. And then when we get out of here and we get to rotate watch creatures towards target, this is the only one we have problems with. So we want to say, hey, if pause creatures dot contains watched creature, if it doesn't contain it, then we can go ahead and rotate it. I think that's the fix. Let's go turn off Dropbox for a second here. Okay. Yeah, let me just switch back over and we'll look at this again. So, the only thing I don't like is this. See how quickly this guy spins around? Right?
Yes, it's a complete... It's a restoration to what you were doing that's instantaneous.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I want to do that I kind of was saying, well, don't say that, Mark. But what I want to do, and I said don't say that, Mark, because I'm not trying to do it. I think it'll be a little tricky. But what I want to do is, if you're further away, I want you to move slower. And if you're closer, right, I want you to move faster. That's what I want you to do.
And the difficulty there is that we now need to know how much the move towards is working so that we know how often to allow it to rotate.
Yeah, well, I could fake it a little bit by limiting the amount of calls I make to where is it? Oops, not there. Rotate this one inside here. I could
see that's true. Because we don't need to know how much it's rotating. If we have 50% of the calls, it will move 50% of the distance, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. What I need to do I think, though, is calculate an update time based on its distance, and then also store that in a separate dictionary. When was my last update time, and are we close enough to that?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Fair enough.
We warned you, attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
that was definitely brought up before.
So here we go. This is going to be a float. This is going to be last update time. Like that. Okay. And we need some sort of crude way to find out how frequently we want to update. But I think we're going to get it with just a little bit of code. Yeah, we still have this to do. Animate this. Come on. Okay. All right. Okay, back to what I was doing before I jump down too many other rabbit holes here. We're in this space right here. We need to find out when we last... Yeah, there it is again, right there, contains key. It would have totally helped. This is going to be a huge feature. I'm going to push the devs to do this. Okay, if last update time contains key, watch creature, then we want to do something with that. Otherwise, we want to... If we end up updating, so we're going to do some sort of if test right here, some test, and if the test is true or false, we're going to maybe come out here and we're going to return. I'm not sure what this is yet here. But if we don't return, yeah, let me just do this. Test. So there's gonna be some sort of test, and not soon enough too soon to update.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get rid of this dragon. Too soon to update. Okay, so too soon to update, then we're going to return. But before we return, no, we're not going to do anything. Okay, we return. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Okay, if too soon to update, then we're going to, we know at this point we contain the key. So we're going to say, this is last update time of watch creature. We get down here, that's equal to time.time. That's a Unity thing. Okay? So
yep.
We're going to set that. Now, if we don't contain the key, then we're going to say last update time dot add. The key is the watch creature, and we're adding time.time. Like that. Okay? So now
yep.
we just have to calculate too soon to update. Too soon to update is equal to, well, let's do this. Seconds since last update is equal to time.time minus last update time of watched creature. Okay? That's seconds
yep.
since last update.
I think, Mark, I may have got this wrong, so maybe you can correct me. I think we can use the same syntax, can't we, on the dictionary? I.e., you've got last update time, square brackets watch creature equals time.time. I think that is, you can call that, as it were, even when you're adding instead of when you're updating. You can use the same syntax. Is that not right? And therefore, it's not a...
Right down here.
You're doing the same thing inside and in the else clause. Therefore, you can take away the else clause and just do it regardless.
I think you're right, we can. We used to not be able to do that, so I'm nervous about that thing throwing errors. This used to throw an error, as I recall. It would be key is not found. Do you remember that, Rory, or no?
I remember something like that, but again, I'm not sure if it's... Because I used to do a lot of VB code, so I wonder whether there was some maybe wrappers around that prevented the issue, so it was only a C# issue, but... Don't know. I have a hunch that that's equivalent regardless.
I'm going to look it up. So we can get
It might be that there's a difference between the C# version of that and the TypeScript version. And maybe that's what the difference is. So you get issues if you're doing it in TypeScript.
Let's see what we get. Yeah, looks like we can just do it. That's not a good example. All right. Cool. Yeah, looks like it's working. All right, cool. All right, so min seconds to update. This is the other thing we have to now figure out. So how many seconds should it be? And it's based on the distance.
So this is a scaled fact. We're going to have a min and max value for it, which we are going to scale based on, well, it's going to be 0 through, what, the 20 feet? I guess?
Yeah, something like that.
Of course, that may or may not be a linear scaling, I guess.
It's like I'm getting the position every time. All right, transform.position. So we're going to get the distance. So hold on. Yeah, way more code here than I wanted, but you know, distance to target in feet is equal to that. And now, so let's see, if we're at 20 seconds, so I think it's going to be a ratio of distance to target to feet divided by min distance to watch, right there. So how far away I am. Actually, it's going to be this minus that divided by that, so that the closer I get out to it,
yeah,
right? I also think I need to clamp this down between 0 and min distance to watch. So what happens is, so this will never be more than this. So if it's greater than min distance to watch, it'll be min distance to watch. It'll be 30 feet away. Is that what this expression will be here? So 30 feet minus 30 feet is 0. Whatever min seconds to update is 0. We're going to get, well, this is going to be, hold on. Where am I going with this? I'm like, I kind of lost it for a second. Let's see if we can get it back.
We're trying to use the relative distance from the target to similarly scale the speed, that is to say the seconds between updates.
Yeah. So
that it turns quicker or slower based on that distance.
So this is like my factor. This is going to be my factor right here. That's where I was going with this. So I'll just call this my my factor for now, and it's equal to this. And then the min seconds to update. So we'll say something like it's equal to 0.2 seconds times my factor. I think. How much time needs to go by? And did I totally get this reversed? I thought I had it reversed at first, and so I did the min distance minus that. Yeah, I think I've got this reversed. I think I was right the first time. Okay, so we've got a clamp of distance to target in feet between 0 and distance to watch. So that's going to give me a number between 0 and 1. If it's close to 0, it's very close, it's going to be a 0. And if it's a 1, I mean, if it's all the way at the edge, it's going to be a 1. Okay?
Yeah.
So then the min seconds to update is going to be like 0.2 times factor. So it's only going to update every 0.2 seconds when it's far away, and it'll be much less if it's closer.
Yes.
Okay?
I think that's right. Yeah.
All right. Jeez. Okay, we got it. I think we got it. And then too soon to update is equal to seconds since last update is greater than min seconds. No, is less than min seconds to update. It's too soon to update because not enough time has passed since whatever this interval time is here. I think that's our answer. The only real tweaking piece here is what are we going to do with this? Let's maybe make it a 0.5. So it updates every half second if you're far out. Okay? And much faster if you're closer. Okay. Let's try that.
Let's give it a go.
Closing down TaleSpire. Doing a restart. Rebuild all succeeded. Looks like I got some exceptions. Oh yeah, I do get a couple exceptions on startup. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, fireball is our test.
Okay.
right over it at its 0 distance. Okay.
So we should be seeing those things that are further away take longer to adjust. I guess we kind of need to have a scenario where there are 2 items sort of linearly in the cell, so rotationally in the same direction, but at different distances.
It's happening right now. Look, watch. See the smoothness of the alligator or the crocodile, and
yes.
the staccato nature of the other creature.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's totally working. I just need to smooth it up, you know, and I can smooth it up just by saying, okay, well, let's change that 0.5 to a 0.2. I think that'll probably be it. It looks like my initial guess was kind of right where I wanted it to be. Cool. Let's close it down. Let's rebuild that. Rebuild all succeeded, starting it up. Let's go switch over to our list, see how we're doing over here. Turn the mini to face the targeting UI when it's close. That was not too bad. Okay. Drop a target when we commit it. That might be the next.
Mark, we've got a relatively black screen.
Sorry, I'm just no, we're good. Oh, sorry, you're right. I was looking at the other. I'm glad you told me that. I thought I'd switch back to the other machine. I had not. Hold on. Mini rotator. We've got some null refs.
Okay.
In our mini rotator.
Well, as you perhaps decide to investigate some null references, I am afraid my time has expired. Awesome. There will be a null reference where once pointed at Rory.
All right, cool. Hey, was that pudding you just snuck in here?
It does look like that, yeah.
Hey, shut up, pudding. My kid just opened the door. What? Pudding? Pudding! Pudding's here.
Hey, pudding.
I got an error. See you, Rory. Thanks for showing up.
All right, I'll take my leave. We'll see you same time tomorrow.
Excellent. That sounds awesome.
See you then.
Bye-bye. Bye. All right. Okay, so I'm getting a null ref in my watch or not, and I haven't quite started up TaleSpire yet. I'm right in here. So what I want to do is make sure that's not happening. So let's go find that code, figure that out. Watch or not. Where are we? It's just in the stuff we were just working on. Watch or not. All minis. We may not have called initialize yet. That could be part of the problem. Get targeting cursor distance to targeting position. That all should be good. That should all be good. Got a pause creature. P for pudding with 1 drone. Did we get that? I didn't see that. Pause creatures.add. That thing's going to be good. Watch creature. Pause creature, watch creatures, original angles. All those will have been instantiated. We're good all the way there, I think. Let's have a check that. Creature board asset should never be null. Stop watching creature. Yeah, these would have been in the call stacks. I'm pretty sure my problem was all minis was null. Yeah, it's only in initialize, and initialize happens in initialize targeting. So yeah, that's my problem. Okay, so I'm going to stop that, rebuild, stop TaleSpire, rebuild over here. Succeeded. Start up TaleSpire. Now also switch over here, talk about what we're going to do next here. We've got this and we got this. This is what I think I'm going to take on next. Drop a target when we commit it and clean it up when the dice roll completes. Yeah. It's kind of like a target placeholder is what it is. Okay. It's loading up. Okay. Let's cast Fireball. Yeah, I like it. It's better. I also like the kind of, you know, staccato animated version of it, right? Where they're kind of like, and if we're really close, they're really kind of interested in it. And it looks like we fixed the bug out here with the too close, where it was spinning around all the time. So it was kind of, yeah, that's all good. And what's cool is, so like if you're not targeting them, like look at where they're looking. Oops. Let's do this. Hold on a second. Let me go to UI here. Close that. Drop down the dragon so it's a little easier. So if you take a look at where they're all looking originally, they restore that after we move the targeting away. They go back and look at it. So if I come in close, he'll look at me because I'm about to target him. If I go away, he'll go right back to looking where he was. Now, we should probably animate that back. I'm not super worried about it. I'm just more interested in the, hey, everybody's looking as we're going into target. I want to make it look like they are very interested in what's about to happen. And it looks like they are. That looks like, I'm going to call it successful. That looks really good. Yeah, I like it. I like it so far. Might do some tweaking on that as, you know, think about that, but I think in general it's good. All right, let's cast that spell. Can I hit the cast spell button with the dice down? Cool. All right.
Fire damage.
Let's do another one. Do it a little further away. Here's the example of where I want to drop the marker. In this kind of scenario here, if it's close up, it's not that big of a deal. But here, if I call cast spell, if I hit the cast spell button here, everything just goes away, and I really want to have that target there. Because we should see the animation head towards it. Yeah, there it is.
31 fire damage.
The animation was heading towards it. I'll do it one more time so you can see it. So you should see the animation come down. Is it coming down?
17 fire damage.
Let's do it again. Go. There it is. So the animation comes down and hits.
Fire damage.
What I want though is I want to see the target laying down there on the ground when we do it. Oh, and it just occurred to me, I think we have a bug in what we just wrote, or maybe not a bug, but it's a kind of an efficiency problem. The targeting works for ranged spell pieces.
Oh no. Whoa.
All right, so the animation works when I have a ranged effect coming in, because we're calling initialized targeting. But it does not work when we're in interactive mode, I believe. If we come in here and go, say I want to turn on targeting and then target a creature, now they're not looking as I move near them. And I want them to look here too. So let's make that happen. Let's fix that.
Go directly to the astral plane.
All right, a lot of die rolling going on here. Let's switch back over here so we can figure that out. Let me clear those dice. Okay, there we go. It's the call to initialize, I think, that makes the difference, I think. Watch or not. Update. Update is called here, no matter what. Update is called here, no matter what. Watch or not. Get targeting cursor distance to. This I think let's go back and do test. I'm going to go to 0, 0 on the board. I have a feeling, a suspicion about how this is working. 0, 0 is on the board is right out about over here. And if it works here but doesn't work over there, then I kind of have a sense of what's happening. So let's go in and say targeting, turn it on. Nope, doesn't look like it's working out here either. Nope. Okay. All right. Clean that up. Switch back over. Keep looking at the code. Yeah. Oh, is it this? Null, maybe? It just needs one call to initialize. That should call initialize right there. TaleSpire's not responding. Okay, there we go. So I rolled it. Hold on a second.
26 fire damage.
Okay, it says it's too far away. Okay, that's working. Let's... Oh, nice. Took a while to get here.